To welcome everyone back from executive session. There were no votes taken in executive session, and I will consider a motion to seal the minutes from executive session. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. The minutes are sealed. Item 4, consent agenda, item 4.1 through 4.7. Is there anything that anyone would like removed from the consent agenda, or can we box these together and I will accept the motion to approve items 4.1 through 4.7?
A motion to accept 4.1 through 4.7.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Motion carries. Public input. Some loyal faces out there, some patient. Do you want to make a comment? Go ahead, Roger.
Just regarding the distribution of time between executive session and regular school committee, it's a fixed amount of time for both. And who goes home late? Well, it depends on who starts first. If the public starts first and you guys conduct all your business executive session after that, then you the guys end up going home late. But the way you've done it this time, everybody goes home late, including the public.
Correct.
So my recommendation is to swap it and do the executive sessions after the public session.
I'm going to do you a solid. Anytime we're not voting on an item following executive session, we will do it that way. But tonight we are in fact voting on an item in public session. So can we do that where we would, and then come back? I mean, so this is a unique situation. You're right. You are right. And if we didn't have a vote on items we discussed in executive session and public session tonight, we would have done that flip. I know we've done that in the past, and I will honor that in the future for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you. That is very thoughtful, as it should be. Any other public comments? All right. Item 6. Opening the school year. Principal McKinnon. He's rocking and rolling. We're just under, what are we, 10 days in, maybe? Wow. Look at that. Sorry.
See, we have some pictures from opening day, but I have to say this, Dr. Mitchell, Mr. DeLeo, and Mary Elizabeth Miller were all talking that the start of school was probably as smooth as any start of school has ever had. I've had. Opening day, you'll see some pictures here of some of our kindergarten kids. You know what? It was not stressful for them, maybe a little stressful for their parents. But other than that, it was a very good start to the year, and we're hoping that it continues as we go along. What's that?
Did you share?
I did. I shared it with you. Happy feet. Yes, school spotlight. There we go. Good. Go to the second, third, and fourth slide, if you don't mind, Tom. There we go. A couple of pictures of some of our youngins coming into school, particularly at the primary level. We had a guest, Wilbur the Eagle, show up as well.
Wow.
But just, beautiful day, a great way to start the day, start the year. Thank you, Tom. We can go on to the next slide. Real quick, this was put together by our green team last year. I think we composted close to 4 tons, a little over 4 tons of food. Gallons of gas avoided, and I'm assuming that's methane gas, probably from the landfill, is 598 gallons. So really did a great job. We've started the year off with the recycling, and it's going pretty well. We're trying to get our kindergarten kids slowly doing it, but like anything, it takes a little bit of time. Thank you, Tom. Next slide. So we are doing something a little bit different this year on our report cards. In the past, it's always been effort and conduct, and you would see anywhere from a grade, I think last year it was 1 to 4, 4 being doing very well and 1 needing improvement. But we've kind of broken it down into some of the learner profiles, not learner profile, approaches to learning that IB uses. And it's based on, still effort and conduct, but we get into the real nitty gritty of the effort and the conduct. And I think it's going to be a better picture for parents to see this year. And it is a rubric. It is U, N, S, and E. Unsatisfactory needs improvement, satisfactory and exceeding. And a student will be given a rubric score based on where they stand with those, prepared for class, their ability to work with others in the class. It's a better picture than just effort and conduct. That's good, Tom. Thank you. That's the end of our slides right there. I do want to welcome, we have 3 new staff members here in the building. Mr. Tom Faraz, who you haven't met, is our new IT director. We have Kim Zalesnik, who is a speech language pathologist coming to us from the Providence School Systems, and Karen Ferreira, who is working in kindergarten. Karen was with us last year, but in a different role. Our fall athletics has taken off. We began practices on Monday with soccer. They've had 2 practices in already. Our soccer is coached by Mr. Ed Belizia, who is also our Spanish teacher, and he's being supported by Miss Sophie Pafard, who was a student here at Wilbur McMahon School 10 years ago. We also have a cross-country team that is practicing again tomorrow. Jen Shapiro is our cross-country coach again this year. One of the things, I won't say it's an initiative, but one of the things we're trying to do this past summer, I was at a conference in DC, and I met the superintendent of schools in Saipan in the Northern Marianas in the Pacific. And she invited us out for a field trip sometime in May. I said it might be a little bit too expensive, but we're going to try and become pen pals with Saipan. They're 14 hours ahead of us, so it's probably 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning there. But we're going to somehow try to work it with our 5th grade, where they can communicate with students from Saipan. It's an island of about, I believe it's about 20,000 people off the coast of Japan. It is an American territory but we are interested in doing it. It's just a matter of them setting up with one of their 5th grades in Saipan. So
Wow.
that's what we're looking to do. And that's how we are 9 days into our school year.
Awesome, Principal McKinnon. Thank you so much. And Tom, welcome. Glad to have you, as we are the other teachers that are members of the Wilbur McMahon team now. Item 7, Superintendent Report. Dr. Mitchell.
Hey, anytime you have capital projects in the hopper, it's always so exciting, when you start, you're in the middle, and at the end, it's not that exciting because you're just waiting for 1 or 2 things. So we're waiting for some custom millwork to be installed, to be finished and to be installed in the library. That is a new circulation desk with a couple of levels, one for our wee ones and one for our young adults. And also our librarian will have for the first time a private office space. It's small, but also has custom millwork. So we're waiting for that. In our new staff room upstairs, we captured some space in the library. We got rid of, that awful, huge sort of counter that took up so much space and really wasn't very practical. And so we captured a lot of square footage for our students. And so we could capture smaller space for a much needed staff room. There is no meeting space in this building, especially since we had to bring special ed department into our town. And so that was sort of the last meeting space. So that will also have some custom millwork and a couple of workstations for teachers, a beautiful table and chairs have already arrived, and we're waiting for the carpeting up there. So, we're waiting for those last pieces that make it camera ready. Regarding the West Side Stormwater Project, we're waiting for that powder-coated aluminum safety fence and new railing. That's custom work as well, so we're waiting for that. The HVAC project, you'll be voting on that bid. The bid was under. So we feel that we can install 4 rather than 4 units, 6 units. So we're pretty happy about that. The upgrade to our water system is on point. We just got some more invoices, John, from our engineers. We had an on-campus media event a few weeks ago. We had the executive director of the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank, Bill Fazioli, and we had Dr. Jerome Larkin, the director of Rhode Island Department of Health. So we had two Rhode Island bigwigs here. Travis and I did receive the video today of, and I will share that out, send it to school committee. And I think they came out great. And so they're using the footage to encourage other communities to apply for these grants and upgrade their water systems so that their students, staff, and anyone else pulling from those wells or bodies of water, have the cleanest, safest water possible. And so that's where we are. Hopefully I'll have some nice photos next month. And yeah, so we're moving forward.
That's one question. So the media center is not 100% complete, so we're not using it at this time?
No, it's substantial, it's substantially complete, but, I mean, she could use it at this point. Sort of jury rig a few things for circulation, et cetera, but, and generally speaking, Mike, when I was a library director and library media specialist, we never opened the first few weeks of school. We waited for, classes would sort of get into their rituals and routines. Baseline data was always captured during those first few weeks around ELA and math. You kids talking about iReady. And so this first few weeks are sort of, re-entry. So pretty soon, hopefully.
Do we think our next meeting will be up there?
I'm hoping it's a really nice space. And it definitely is sort of now a 21st century library with a nod to tradition. Still has some wooden elements, that rich dark wood with some light wood as well that we've added. So it definitely honors tradition here. The beautiful original pieces of that room and integrates so that that's switched on 21st century stuff as well. And that's about it for that. And next, agenda item.
So you.
Yeah, 7-2.
Unfortunately, Brian Goodwin, who is our 2025-2026 District Teacher of the Year, could not make it. He was down in Narragansett, South County, at a DTOY convening. So he was gone pretty much all day. I will just say a few words about him, but I would like to, save a lot of the accolades and effusive praise by his staff, his colleagues that I have written here and I was going to share tonight. I'd like to save that for maybe an October, November when he can make it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Let's
And-
make sure we do that with him.
Exactly. And he is a hockey coach and hockey dad. So, I'll have to tell him.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. He's, oh yeah.
Good luck getting him in for, that's,
Remember the video on social media of the teacher in roller skates upstairs, roller hockey, whatever, skates. That was him. He's diehard, and his two young fellows are also into hockey. So Brian Goodwin is an extraordinary special educator and case manager in this building. And he was nominated by all 6 of our past District Teachers of the Year. Mr. Lee Torres, the ones who are still currently on site. Lee Torres, Mary Elizabeth Miller, Jessica Higgins, Jen Morash, Karen Corrigan, Jennifer Sagrala. And when I asked them in a Google form for 3 strong characteristics of their nominee, this is what those teachers wrote: dedicated, inspiring, passionate, compassion, expertise, collaborative, humble, committed, patient, empathetic, flexible. Effusive praise. I have so many long narratives by his colleagues. I'll share a few of them when we can make it. But I do want everyone to save the date, Saturday, September 27th. every year, our district teachers of the year, and other, superintendents of the year, all of those incredible educators are honored at a special water fire. And so this year it's Saturday, September 27th, 2025. A few years ago, our own business manager was honored as Business Manager of the Year. We carried a torch.
Yeah, John.
Like literally carry a torch. And so that is on the 27th. The award ceremony starts at 5. The torch procession is 6:30, and it is a sight to behold. The honorees have access to all of the culinary arts programs in the state, get together and make the most amazing food. And all of us who go and watch, there are food trucks, you can buy dinner or whatever for you and your family if you wish to go. It's wonderful. I make sure I never miss it. And so I will have some pictures. And I will introduce the community formally to Brian Goodwin at a meeting within the next few months. But he was far-flung today, and I understand. He needed to be home and
That makes sense.
Bridgewater, he was.
Bridgewater.
Yeah, he's just an extraordinary educator and role model. And that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Oof, the man with the plan, the financial plan. John McNamee. Go ahead, John.
Oh, we still have, well, we're working on 3 years right now. So FY '24 is hopefully going to be put into the books with the completion of the audit, which will be hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So everything is with the auditors from the town, and obviously the school side had been there for a while. So they're going to proceed with that. I am not anticipating any changes to our 24 unaudited numbers, where we showed a small surplus of 61,962. Our unaudited numbers for 25 had some minor changes. We're showing a small loss of 24,431 for 25. We had some invoices. We had one bill for the transportation that got hung up in the system somewhere, which was for an April transportation bill that came in late. But other than that, pretty much on target. With that, including the transfers to the capital reserve fund, which I want to go over next, we would be left with an accumulated surplus in the general fund of $140,000 as we go into FY '26. On the capital reserve fund, we have, and I finalized the revenues and the expenses in that fund. So in 25, we took in $1,000,049, which includes transfers from the general fund of $300,000. We had the $250 that we got in from the Newport County Regional. That distribution is in the capital reserve fund. We had $75,000 that we got in state grants on the solar. We got the $185,000 that the town had paid us for the solar. I think that came out of opera funds on the town side. I had applied for and got the PAYGO funding of $111,093, which is an advance payment on the housing aid for the solar. And we also got a normal housing aid that we would get for our gymnatorium and our art room renovations, which was $127,978. And the expenses, the portion of the solar that was paid in 25 was $473,000. And we had some library meter expenditures in there, 48. So we spent $522,000 in capital expenditures. So that left us with an excess of revenues over and transfers over expenditures of $527,000. We started with $169,000 in that fund balance. So we're looking at $696,000 in our accumulated surplus in the capital fund going into FY '26. Since I got all the housing aid for the solar in '25, we wouldn't have any housing aid. The town still owes us 50 for the gymnatorium that hasn't been paid yet. So I'm going to be looking to get that in '26. The investment tax credit, we've got to complete a tax return, file that with the IRS to get the investment credit back on the solar. And that'll give us $168,175 in investment credits. And our planned expenditures right now are roughly around $600,000. That may change a little bit, but using that number, that would leave us in '26 with a little bit over $300,000 still in our accumulated surplus that we can use for projects going forward. And with that, we would be getting housing aid on both the library media center and the HVAC improvements. And that will be coming in '27, because with the housing aid, you're able to kind of leverage that, add that in so you can utilize those funds to do more capital improvements. So overall, I think we're in pretty good shape when it comes to our capital funding as we move forward. That's all I have.
Oh, real quick, for those of us following along at home, that is on page 10. What John just outlined on the Little Compton School Capital Reserve Fund. So he kind of just articulated the next 24, 25, 26 and what it looks like. Go ahead, Michael.
I just understand, you're saying that we'll have 600K after the expenditure. You're talking the library and the HVAC, or do I misunderstood there?
No, we're gonna have 314,000 after we made those expenditures in '26. Our projected accumulated surplus at the end of '26 would be about a little over 300,000.
300,000 in the after the HVAC and what we have to finish up with the library.
And the west side, the stormwater mitigation program.
And we would, are you taking into account the reimbursement of what we will pay for the HVAC in the library in your number of the 313?
No, that reimbursement comes in the following year. So I'd be looking at about $250,000 in housing aid from those.
52.5, next top line. Yeah.
In 27, 28, we haven't kind of solidified those capital those improvements, but I know we have HVAC improvements that we need to complete. So, but those would
The
be
whole building.
more than likely next year. We'll have to before we get into the budget, just kind of solidify those capital improvements that we're going to be looking at.
Thank you, John.
John.
All right, committee reports, policy subcommittee report. Myself and Amy are going to be selecting a date. I know I've been saying that, but we have been watching what's going on at the federal level and how the state is responding. Sean has been on the case and keeping us updated. Right now, all of our policies, both locally and federally tied, are in compliance with the state and federal regulations. Am I right with that, Sean?
Right.
Thank you, sir. Item 9.2, Portsmouth School Committee Liaison Report. Mr. Mark Leisher.
Thank you. Not a ton to report. School year began in Portsmouth with a new superintendent, which we talked about last time. I think the big item out of last meeting, other than some construction projects that they are moving forward with, was the success of the Portsmouth High School sailing team, which for the first time in the history of the school won state championship and is going to nationals. I wanted to read through the list of sailors, because I believe there's at least one or two that are part of our school district. Leo Burnham Elena Sun, Noel Armanonzis.
Armanazes.
Lucas Gaudet, Ava McDermott, James Hackett, Pia Stroley, Peyton Curtis, Stasek, Hunter Shumsky, Lorea Loyola, and Matthew DeFalco. All were on the sailing team that won the state championship, first time in the history of the school, which was kind of a big deal. But it was a pretty uneventful meeting. Business as usual, things seem to be going well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Item 9.3, Wellness Committee Liaison Report, Ms. Suchase. How are you?
Well, I really don't have anything to report. We have our first meeting coming up on September 23rd at 3:15, and to which the public and everyone is invited to come to and encouraged.
Excellent. Thank you, Sue.
Where's that meeting held?
Here, I believe,
Great.
yeah, it'll still be here.
We have,
It'll be here.
Excellent. Item 9.4, Town Recreation Committee Liaison Report, Mr. Mark.
Nothing out of the last meeting, but I did just on the 3rd of September receive communication from Fire Chief Richard Petrin that the parts for the AED have been received, and that the plan for the base to go in to that spot, that little island there where the two paths meet near the parking lot between the soccer field and the baseball field has been selected. And it looks like installation of that solar powered AED is imminent. Finally, it was a little bit delayed due to some parts that needed to be shipped and manufactured, but they're here. So days, maybe a couple of weeks, but we are finally closing in on that. So an AED, it should be there before our next meeting.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, action items. Consider, discuss, and vote to approve the superintendent goals for 25-26. Lori, do we have an updated document with the verbiage we spoke about?
Put it up and I sent it to you in an email.
Excellent. Let's just make sure that that is the verbiage we are hoping for, and then I will consider a motion.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah, you could just read it aloud. That's fine.
Sure.
And if you've sent it to us.
Okay. A minute.
There it is, new wording, I see.
Along with a group of stakeholders, explore writing and developing a comprehensive charter application for an international baccalaureate intermediate school, grades 5 through 8, for possible June 2026 submission, for November 2026 approval, possible charter school implementation, ready for the 2027-2028 school year. And then I do qualify what stakeholders means here: mixed parents, educators, community leaders with diverse skills in education, finance, business management, and public relations. And those educators also include presidents of both sitting electives, both unions.
Does this suffice with the committee, this verbiage? Excellent. I will consider a motion to approve the superintendent goals for 25-26.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Lori, we look forward to hearing on how that unfolds. Next, consider, discuss, and vote to approve the agreement between the Little Compton Teachers Association and the school committee. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement between the Little Compton Teachers Association and school committee?
And when the motion's made, if you could just have it, the motion adopt both the contract and the MOA.
Yes, okay, so I will change that. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement and MOA between the Little Compton Teachers Association and school committee?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all. I see someone from the teachers union in the crowd tonight. I'm glad we got to this point, Mr. DeLeo. Thank you very much. No, thank you. Item 10.3, consider, discuss, and vote to approve bid from Martone Service Company for HVAC renovations. Do we want to discuss this a little bit, Mr. McNamee, before we are put forth with this vote? I know it's something we've talked about. Tell us what we are getting for our dollars.
Oh, I'm gonna hand that over to the superintendent, since she's been.
Somebody's got to tell us what. I mean, changed my career.
The town has co-opted John, so I'm filling the vacuum. Not great, but I'm doing the best I can. The bid is according to our architect, Phil Conte. He is the principal architect of Studio Jade. Much lower than anticipated. So I think that we can provide provision of 6 classrooms on the second floor rather than 4 with state-of-the-art systems. So as phase 1 of likely 3 phases, as John said, each year we will add and cover the entire building with air conditioning.
Are these units both heating and cooling or just AC? Just AC.
This will also allow us to get, because we did qualify these projects for the incentive bonuses last year, so they grandfathered in. So we should get, I believe, upwards to 10% additional housing aid. So we get the 35 as the base, we'll get an extra 10, so we should be getting in the range of 45% for these projects.
As the kids would say, clutch.
Yeah. So 50, we're paying 55 cents on every dollar. We'll be reimbursed the remaining. Excellent. Is there, do I have a motion? Or go ahead, Michael has that. Well, we can add that to discussion. Go ahead.
Yeah. So these are all mini splits that we're putting in? Is
Yes.
that what that's?
Tied in. And so this does not include controls. So we reached out to Air Masters and they're the ones who handle our controllers now.
Right.
And that won't be a huge expense. They will do that piece of it.
So I guess the part, I'm kind of surprised to hear that these are not heat pumps. Reason being, John, is that we've had this discussion about how we've always had problems with the furnace in here and the money that we keep dumping into the furnace. And I thought we would have gone with the heat pump / AC, being that we have solar on this building. So was that not looked at? Is that not an option? I mean, if the numbers came in lower, I think
the cost of the heat pumps would be fairly expensive. This, I think, allows us to get air conditioner, conditioned air into these spaces. And I know that the architects had recommended this, and they use this, I believe, down in Portsmouth, a few of the schools there as well, too. Especially when you're looking at, you're doing a renovation as opposed to new construction.
Retrofitting. You did the, rather than new construction and it's more complex, you did the walk with the architect.
Yep.
It is a good question, though. I mean, is it because it's, like you're saying, it's a retrofit? I mean, is it because there's no tax incentive? I mean.
Retrofit in the oldest part of the building.
Fair.
kind of goes against the argument about that, having problems with that furnace. Do something about that.
Well, yeah, but that adds a significant amount of cost to it.
What is that cost though? I mean, these are individual units though, right? Individual units per, or are you using the ductwork that's existing?
Existing ductwork.
But they're individual units that are going to cover an area.
They're tying into the infrastructure that Air Masters already has. I can get all that information to you. The bid is really, how many pages did you get?
Yeah, it's like 28 pages or 23, whatever it was. That said, I mean, if we approve this, can you still, I'm looking at Sean actually, if we approve this, can they still pursue what I mean, both Michael and my question is, I mean, just to know,
Oh, yeah.
because if we could take the load off,
I haven't, I'm unsure, I can't answer that question for
There's
you
no contract.
tonight.
There's no contract.
There's no contract,
There's
but I
no
mean,
contract.
there's a scope of the work that was bid, so.
We could ask Studio J, the architects. to-
Absolutely.
yeah, and just, you know, it'd be much like we talked about with your goals. Why not the heat pump? I mean, every person that owns a home in here is being told heat pump because it does both. So if they can, A, justify it, or B, if the cost is, I mean,
Prohibitive.
yeah, prohibitive. That's a great word. Thank you for using that. Want to use nominal? Prohibitive is good.
Because of the building, but I will get back to you on that.
All right.
I mean, where do we stand with that, though? I mean, if we're gonna go back and ask questions, I mean, should we not be voting on this then? So we have.
Just a bit, there's no contract, there's this,
There's no contract, then why are we voting on it then for a bid, though? I mean, and I'm not trying to be smart about it, I'm asking.
I understand your question. So, I mean, it's the pleasure of the committee. You want to enter into, you're awarding the bid. You're saying, okay, we're going with this person for this project. Okay, if for some reason before we enter into a contract with them, we decide to go in a different direction, we may need to explore. But once we hear from the architect, perhaps we have to go back out to bid. Perhaps there's something short of that we can do. You know, but you do have the ability to stop the project if for some reason you want to go in a radically different direction.
We're doing a HVAC renovation at one of the elementary schools in Lincoln. And that is $9.5 million to do that. Because you're talking about redoing ductwork, you're talking about issues that you have with the electrical. And then,
So I guess I'm not understanding, is this not like a mini split that is in a home? Or to that degree where it's focused, it's put on a wall, the conduit is run out to a compressor. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we're not at 9 million.
well, they're larger units in order to accommodate both air and
the
heat.
next meeting.
So,
Yeah, what we did in the library is we used that ductwork because that's air conditioned for the new staff room. These, let's face it, it's almost $300,000. So they're much more involved than residential grade.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not doubting that. I'm just trying to get, like, what's the difference between the way they would run a cooling unit as a heating unit?
Right.
You know, like if the plumbing's all there and it's like, oh, we just got to run the hot line or whatever. I don't know. I'm just.
You do have some infrastructure up there.
I thought Michael's question was thoughtful, because if we are trying to,
All right.
you know, pull that out and not have to fix that and use the solar, it's not a bad thing to pursue.
I'm gonna recommend that since there are significant questions, that
Yeah.
we table this issue tonight. We at least get some of the answers
From
from Phil, and at the next meeting, we can proceed now.
Perfect. That will still allow us.
The only thing I have about the bid docs, because I have not seen them, can we hold the bidders to their offers until next month?
I believe there was, I want to say 12 weeks on it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did you receive?
We've used them before for the gymnatorium.
Yeah, but to Sean's point, we don't want it to lapse. So
No.
with going to be within that 12 weeks in 4 weeks.
Well, it's certainly not going to expire tonight, so
No,
we
it was the end
can,
of August, so yes.
you know, if it's something where we look at it and it's like, oh no, they expire in 2 weeks,
We'll have an emergency.
we'll have to have a meeting and we'll get those answers quickly. Typically, it is
12
like, you
weeks.
know, that you have a little bit of time because committees don't meet the instant bids come in.
Okay.
I think we're talking about 300,000 as opposed to 3 million.
No, I understand, but, right.
But we'll get those answers. There's no rush on
Go
that.
ahead, Michael's got one more follow-up.
So John, I'm gonna use the science rooms, 7th and 8th grade science room, that's mini splits for air up there. So I would imagine is that not heat pumps for those units in those rooms? in this, in the science?
Oh, those just air conditioning.
I think so.
Yeah, those are just air conditioning.
Was,
I think it's gonna be a little bit more expensive, and I think we've got to be careful because we've got a very limited budget at this point, so. So we're not gonna be able to do all the rooms. We're trying to get conditioned air and air conditioning in, because that, I think, is the key element in terms of maintaining the, or limiting the growth of mold, and especially being near the water. So that's really a key element. The furnace has not been too bad lately. I mean, we, a few years ago, we had some issues with quality of the water and whatnot. I mean, ultimately, I think it would be nice to try to replace that. Like the one that we were doing up in Lincoln, it's all electric. So we're not, we were using gas, we're going all electric, but the units are on the roof. They're a bit much bigger units, you know, covering, you know, the whole school. So we don't have to talk to Phil, you know, what's the best way to do that. And also look at it as a multi-year program, just like we're looking now, and see what that overall cost is gonna be.
and I understand all that. I kind of look at it and I say to myself, why do we not follow suit by using the mini splits in these proposals that were going out? Why did the architect come back to you and say, let's do the mini splits versus using the infrastructure that's there is not as efficient as the mini splits are concerned? Because I mean, there's a lot of lost energy within that ductwork. Where the mini splits, I mean, bang, it's right into the room. You don't lose, there's not loss there. So
Well, yeah, the mini splits are certainly easier to install. But yeah, that's certainly above my pay grade in terms of what needs to be, what type of units need to go in, and how we're gonna be able to handle both the heat and the cooling and the.
All right, well, just, that's the thing. We'll table it tonight, like Sean said. We don't need a vote to table it, do we? We're good to go with, I don't need to solicit a vote to table an item?
You don't have to know.
No, and so from there,
Well, that's one of the
let's
conditions.
just talk to Phil and just get down to the brass tacks, because if we want to be like a trend in the direction of a net zero school, you know, chances are we're going to be able to add solar in some capacity, continue to add solar in some capacity as the world turns, as the days go by.
I think it was,
But yeah, we'd love to like not have to replace that furnace again and know that we've got heat in other parts of the building, and we've kind of come away from that.
in my perspective on that, it's just that I want to see something that is the most energy efficient for us to run this building.
Mhm.
I'm not looking for the net zero
Fair.
plaque. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to know what's the best way for us to heat and cool this building going forward. Let's not do something for a little bit more money that we could have done heat. But okay.
All right, item 10-4, any school committee member request for information from administration or legal counsel? I will defer, and then I do have something.
No.
Anyone? Anyone? All right. So as some of you may know, I am serving on the Little Compton Town Commons Review Board. And one thing that continues to come up is the use of school space. And I know that it is a building that is operational 365 days a year. That being said, is there ways, and people are also sensitive to the security of the building and not having people in places where they shouldn't be after hours. Are there spaces, i.e. this space, possibly the library down the road, that would be applicable for public gathering or gatherings for nonprofits?
Of course.
So I know the gym always, right? But I'm thinking like, would the garden club be able to meet in this space and or in the library once completed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some do. One of the, I think it's the Ag Trust meets upstairs in the summer.
Yeah, they were doing it, well, the town hall was closed, you're right.
Yep, the air conditioning in that room. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what I would ask, if, could either of you provide just like, I mean, you might have a snapshot of organizations that have used it, so I can kind of go back and say, hey, listen, this is not like a new thing.
At all.
It's just something that might be possibly underutilized. And more importantly, what does it entail if somebody wants to use it? So nonprofit organization says, hey, I want to use the library on a Sunday. Is that even possible? Do we have people here to let them in? So those types of things.
You have to pay for the custodian, but
Okay, yeah.
not now. We have many organizations that generate use of facilities for.
Do we have a facilities use policy?
Yeah, we have an ironclad policy, and
And there is a fee sometimes.
we had the wind, whatever. I think.
Yeah, so I think what people are, there's a desire to understand how the spaces we currently have are being utilized. And if there are spaces in any of the town buildings that are underutilized or just not utilized to the degree in which maybe any of you envisioned or people are aware of, that it could be on the radar of that possibility.
Oh, I think
People don't know what they don't know,
right.
right? Myself included.
It's online, and we actually have the calendar online, you know, which spaces are reserved.
All right, I'll get with you and, but that was just something that has come up and I said, hey, I'm having a meeting tonight. I met with them last Wednesday and then today. So I said, I'm definitely going to ask them. So
I don't think this district has ever said no to any use of facility for
no,
them.
I don't think so either.
But yes, they could be used more.
All right, with that being said, I will consider a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Oh, no, right.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all. Thank you all for your patience. Roger, we will absolutely implement that if there is not a vote regarding something we discussed in executive session.